The fall of rupee has become a major topic of discussion across the country. People are even joking about it, asking who will hit the century first, Virat Kohli or the Indian rupee. The joke may sound funny, but the situation is actually serious. In 2025 alone, the rupee has fallen by around 5.5%, making it one of the worst performing currencies in that period. So the obvious question is, what does this fall really mean? Simply put that into perspective, it means the rupee is losing its value. But why is the rupee losing its value? To understand that, we first need to understand what an exchange rate is. An exchange rate is the price of one country's currency in terms of another country's currency. It tells us how much of one currency is needed to buy one unit of another currency. For example, if you need 90 rupees to buy 1 US dollar, then the exchange rate is 90 rupees per dollar. Now, if we look at history, we can see that the number of rupees required to buy $1 has consistently increased over time. This means the purchasing power of rupee has fallen, and as a result, the value of rupee has declined. So why this happens? Why value of any currency depletes? Well, we will try to understand with the help of a graph. Let's consider money as a good or service to have a better understanding. On y-axis we have price level and on x-axis we have quantity. Green line represents demand and purple line represents supply. And P1 is the price level at this equilibrium. Suppose the demand falls from demand 1 to demand 2, then price level will also fall from P1 to P2, and this will reduce the value of rupee. On the other hand, if demand increases from demand 1 to demand 2, it takes the price level from P1 to P2, increasing the price or value of rupee. So we can say increase in demand of rupee will result in increase in value of rupee, and decrease in demand of rupee will result in decrease in value of rupee. Now, if supply increases from supply 1 to supply 2, it will take price level down from P1 to P2, reducing the value of rupee. On the other hand, if supply reduces from supply 1 to supply 2, it will take price level up from P1 to P2, increasing the price, hence the value of rupee. Hence, we can say if supply of rupee increases, value of rupee will decrease, and if supply of rupee decreases, value of rupee increase. So from the graph, we can see demand is directly proportional to the value of rupee and supply is inversely proportional to the value of rupee. Now, let us understand the main factors that affect the demand and the supply of rupee and how they lead to increase or decrease in the value of rupee. First, let's look at trade. When India imports goods, India has to pay in US dollars. But when India exports goods or services, foreign buyers make payments that eventually get converted into rupees. And this creates demand for rupee. So in simple terms, imports create demand for dollars and exports create demand for rupees. But the problem is that India imports more than it exports. Because of this, the demand for rupee remains low, and as we saw, when demand for rupee falls, the value of rupee also falls. Now let's talk about inflation. When inflation is high, prices keep rising. This means 100 rupee today buys less than earlier. Because of this, people feel that holding cash is not very useful. So they move their money into other assets such as gold, stocks. As a result, people want to hold less money. And when people want to hold less money, the demand for rupee falls. And as we saw, when the demand for rupee falls, the value of rupee also falls. Now let's talk about foreign investment. When foreign portfolio investors or FPIs invest in India in shares or bonds, they first bring in dollars, then convert those dollars into rupees and use those rupees to buy Indian assets. So when more FPIs invest in India, more dollars are converted into rupees. Demand for rupee increases and the value of rupee also goes up. But the situation is different right now. Currently, FPIs are withdrawing money from the Indian market. When FPIs exit, they sell Indian shares and bonds, convert rupee back into dollars, and take their money out. This process increases the supply of rupee in the market. And when supply of rupee increases, the value of rupee falls. This is one of the most important reasons behind the current fall in the rupee. Let's talk about another current issue, that is uncertainty around India-US trade deal. The US is one of the India's most important trading partners, but right now trade talks are unclear and delayed. Because of this, exporters and investors feel unsure about future business. And when markets feel unsure, they prefer safety. And safety usually means holding US dollars, not rupees. Even uncertainty alone is enough to reduce demand for the rupee. At the same time, the US dollar is very strong. US interest rates are high, and US is seen as a safer place for money. So global money moves towards US, which increases demand for the dollars and reduces demand for the rupee. So in this video, we understood what are the factors that affect the value of rupee. And in next video, we will understand how RBI intervenes and controls the value of rupee. So thank you.